verse 16. And other sheep.
This one's really easy. Who did Jesus go to in his ministry? Let's find out. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So the sheep Jesus was getting were from the house of Israel. Was the house of Israel the United Kingdom? That is, those of the northern and southern kingdom? Or just the northern kingdom? Well, we know Jesus didn't go just to the northern kingdom. So the answer has to be that it refers to the United Kingdom. That is both the southern and northern kingdom, because the house of Israel does not refer only to the southern kingdom. So if he has other sheep that are not of the United Kingdom, not of that fold, then they would be non-Israelites.
Shalom. All praise to Yah.
Shalom. Giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, pushing this doctrine of truth to the elect of the nation of Israel, who were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, pursuant to the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28. All right, I wanted to do a response lesson to the beloved Elder Manasseh Zakba's video here, entitled Edomite Christian, this devil right here, is hurt over John chapter 10 verse 16. And he is, because he took this completely out of context, okay? Like all Christians do. I mean, every Christian that I've ever heard break down John chapter 10 verse 16, they obviously break it down wrong, because they don't understand who the sheep that are not of this fold are. Okay? See, they don't deal with prophecy at all. Okay? They only deal with the prophecies that involve salvation. Okay? Anything that has to do with the Israelites, especially going under the curses, they don't acknowledge that. They don't believe it. They just dismiss it like it's not there. Well, you can't do that. Okay? You cannot do that when the Bible in its entirety was written to the Hebrew Israelites. Point blank, period. Okay? Now, before you go making a statement like you did, which was in error, Christian Dave, we have to qualify who the lost sheep are. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Okay? And this is true. All right? The northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. But what people don't realize is the vast majority of the Israelites that were in Jerusalem at the time that the Messiah came on the scene were of the southern kingdom. Benjamin, Judah, and Levi. Right? That makes up the southern kingdom of the Israelites. Now, when the Messiah came on the scene, the vast majority of the northern kingdom had migrated to Babylon the Great, America here, pursuant to the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 13, I want to say verse 40. Okay, it took them about a year and a half to arrive here by ship. Okay, read it for yourself. It says that they traveled to a land that man never dwelt. Okay, well, they were the first inhabitants of Babylon the Great here. Okay, so if the vast majority of the northern kingdom had already been here long before the Messiah actually walked this earth, okay, those were Israelites that ultimately needed to be ministered to. Now, people would say, you know, especially Christians, well, he never came here to America. All right, well, there is documentation. Now, he wasn't called Jesus, of course not. Right? Now, I can't recall for the life of me, and I should. I got to get back and do more research, but it was documented that the Messiah did travel over here. Okay? Historically. All right, but anyway, that's above your pay grade and you wouldn't understand that. Okay, at any rate, this is talking about Israelites, all 12 tribes, and he's telling you that, right? So we have to determine how these Israelites became lost, because that's not a word you just ignore, dismiss, and gloss over, right? You can't do that. You got to find out, well, why are they lost? Okay, so let's go to John chapter 10 and 16, right? And other sheep I have which are not of this fold, they're lost too, right? These sheep are lost. Them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd. Now the beloved Elder Manat Zakba, he had mentioned in his lesson that this is a precept, or the precept for this is in the book of Ezekiel, the chapter 37, and it talks about the dry bones, right? And maybe we'll get that, but I didn't want to focus on that. He did a brilliant, beautiful breakdown on that, but I wanted to focus more on the sheep, okay? Because, again, we have to identify who these sheep are. You know, Christians, again, they'll just pick up the Bible and say, oh, sheep not of this fold, it has to be talking about Gentiles and non-Israelites. Wrong. Okay, so you read that, right? Not of this fold, and the lost sheep of the house of Israel. They're one and the same, right? Okay, so let's go to the book of, let's go here to identify those sheep. Then we'll talk about how they were scattered, how they arrived at being scattered. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 60. My people, Israelites, hath been lost sheep. There's that word again, lost. That's the operative word that you can't overlook, right? Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. Okay, and I'm going to add that there isn't one scripture in this Bible where heathens or non-Israelites were ever referred to as sheep. Okay, or the Lord's sheep, period. Verse 17, Israel is a scattered sheep. Did you hear that? Okay, and that scattered is synonymous with lost. Okay, because that's who the lost sheep are, because they're scattered. That's why they're lost. Israel is a scattered sheep. And why are they scattered? Well, because of the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28. We'll get that. The lions have driven him away. First, the king of Assyria hath devoured him. And last, this Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, hath broken his bones. Ezekiel, a different book, chapter 34, verse 6. My sheep wandered through all the mountains and upon every high hill. Yea, my flock was scattered. There's that word again. Upon all the face of the earth, and none did search or seek after them. Okay? And this is largely how we became lost. All right? For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I, even I, will both search my sheep and seek them out. This says nothing about seeking out no goddamn heathens. Excuse my French. Okay? This is not talking about you non-Israelite dumb heathens. As a shepherd seeketh out his flock in the day that he is among his sheep that are scattered, so will I seek out my sheep, the Israelites, and will deliver them out of all places where they have been scattered in the cloudy and dark day. Now this is an end time prophecy, okay? And this is talking about the end times, okay? The Israelites are going to be redeemed from the Messiah, okay? Like the Messiah himself said, I'm not sent but to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Well, guess what? He's also going to deliver us, okay? He's going to deliver us in that cloudy and dark day, Jacob's trouble, during Jacob's trouble, judgment day, right? So these scriptures here tell you, it gives you context to let you know that the sheep that are not of this fold are scattered. Scattered. Remember, okay, the northern kingdom and southern kingdom will not be unified until the Messiah comes back to unify us. Okay, now we'll get together here in Babylon the Great, okay, and all 12 tribes will be here, but we won't be considered a unified nation, okay, until the Messiah comes back and takes us back to Israel, to our homeland. All right, that's what this is all about, right? Okay, so let's go to Deuteronomy, and we got to break this out all the dang time because, you know, you Christians, you just ignore scriptures that give you insight, that explain exactly what's what. And y'all just dismiss it. Nah, well, that doesn't fit the Christian narrative. We're just going to act like it's not there and ignore it. Well, you can ignore it all you want. It's not going to change prophecy. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods. Right? Okay, so when that happens, these Israelites would be lost. They would be spiritually dead. Okay, hence the book of Ezekiel, the dry bones. Okay, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Okay, and among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shalt the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee a trembling heart, and failing eyes, and sorrow of mind, as scattered sheep. Okay, remember that word, scattered, scattered, scattered. Okay, let's go to the book of 1 Peter. Okay, because this is not talking about heathens. Peter, an apostle of Yahushua, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, right? Galatia. That name sounds familiar. The book of Galatians? Yes, this is talking about Israelites. Those Galatians are Israelites, right? And we're going to prove that these strangers are Israelites. Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia. Now, we read in the book of Deuteronomy, it said that the Lord was going to scatter us into every nation pretty much, right? Elect. Okay, and elect only means Israelites. Okay, you look into the book of Psalms, chapter 50, verse 5, if I'm not mistaken, and it defines who the elect are. According to the foreknowledge of Yahweh the Father, through sanctification of the Spirit, unto obedience and sprinkling of the blood of Hamashiach Yahushai. All right, let's go to the NLT for further understanding. Okay? Same book, same chapter, same verse. This letter is from Peter. Well, who are you writing to, Peter? An apostle of Hamashiach Yahushai. I am writing to Yahweh's chosen people who are living as foreigners, also known as strangers, in the provinces of Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia. And all these countries, okay, were in close proximity to each other, right? But these Israelites were scattered into all these countries, right? Again, hence the book of Galatia, the book of Ephesians, right? That was written to the Israelites scattered into Ephesus. The whole New Testament was written to the Israelites. Okay, the book of Corinthians, Israelites dwelled in Corinth. Why? Because of the scattering. They dwelt in, Thessalonica, right? Hence the book of Thessalonians, right? This is all about the Israelites. Okay, let's go to the book of James. Surely this is talking about the heathens, right? Wrong. This ain't talking about you damn heathens. No, we want the King James Version first. James, a servant of Yahweh and of the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. Greeting, my brethren. Well, why is he referring to these Israelites as brethren? Because they're Israelites. They're his brethren. Okay, so when you see the word brethren, it's not talking about non-Israelites. It's talking about Israelites, right? This is the context. Scattered Israelites. This letter, okay, we just read that Peter wrote a letter to the Israelites that were scattered abroad, and so has James here, right? So let's look up the word scattered. Okay, let's go to the Greek, diaspora, definition. A scattering, dispersion. That's not the one we want. Of Israelites dispersed among foreign nations. Now we know these deceitful, lying-ass Christians added number 2 here. Because in order for them to be scattered, they have to be under the curses. Okay, not to say that we don't have Israelites calling themselves Christians today, all right, who are scattered, obviously, and they're lost. They're lost sheep, right? If they're still calling themselves Christians and not Israelites, they're lost, right? Of the Christians scattered among the Gentiles, and like the beloved Elder Manatazak previously pointed out, why would these Gentiles? Why wouldn't they just be called Gentiles, scattered among Gentiles, right? Well, this word scattered is exclusively referencing the Israelites. Let's further prove that. Especially and concretely, the converted Israelite resident in Gentile countries, which are scattered abroad. So this is exclusively referring to, by definition, is talking about scattered Israelites, right? So when it says converted, that means these Israelites were acting like these heathens in the countries that they dwelt. They were worshiping their gods, worshiping idols. Remember in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 64, it said, ye shall worship the idols, right? And I'm rough, other gods, right? And I'm roughly paraphrasing here, okay? But the point is that they're worshiping any and everything but Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, okay? Until they were converted back to being Israelites. That's the most important thing here, okay? You cannot dismiss this. You cannot overlook this, right? It is what it is, okay? So these scattered Israelites were the lost sheep, okay? And a lot of them, again, were not of this fold, okay? Again, I use the example of the northern kingdom who, jumped on a ship, right, to escape Assyrian, or after their Assyrian captivity. This is where they came and dwelt, okay? And they started worshiping gods. They kept some of their Hebrew Israelite heritage, but not all of it, okay? Because they were some demons when they came over here. They were worshiping all kinds of shit, all right? Any and everything but Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, okay? Much like the southern kingdom, worshiping white Jesus, okay? All right, so let's go to the book of Romans. Because, again, those sheep that are not of this fold, well, are they going to be saved? Who are they? Who are the sheep that are not going to be fold? Who are the sheep that are not of this fold, right, but are going to be saved? That was a tongue twister. All right, so anyway, to give it context, Romans 11, who is this talking about? Israel is not cast away, right? The sheep that are not of this fold, right, were thought to be cast away. Well, they were, but temporarily. This wasn't a permanent casting away of the Israelites, right? Let's prove that. Verse 1, I say then, and this is Apostle Paul talking, hath Yahweh cast away his people? Yahweh forbid. For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. Why didn't he call himself a Christian here? Right? Because he's an Israelite. Yahweh hath not cast away his people, right? Even the ones not of this fold, which he foreknew. What ye not, what the scripture saith of Elias, how he maketh intercession to Yahweh against Israel, saying. Okay, now let's jump down to verse 16. Okay, for if the casting away of them be the reconciling of the world, what shall the receiving of them be but life from the dead? For if the first fruit be holy, then the lump is holy also holy, and if the root be holy, so are the branches. Now these are talking about Israelites, contrary to popular belief, right? And I'll prove that. And if some of the branches be broken off, and thou, being a wild olive tree, right? Operative term here, a phrase, wild olive tree. Who would that be? See, a Christian would pick this up and say, oh, this is talking about heathens. This is talking about non-Israelites, right? Because they were grafted in among them, and with them partakest of the root and fatness of the olive tree. Boast not against the branches, but if thou boast, thou bearest not the root, but the root thee. Okay, so wait a minute. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah, because this is exactly the precept that it's referencing. Jeremiah chapter 11, verse 16. You see how it lines up perfectly? Romans 11:16, Jeremiah 11:16. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. This is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai's book, because they're essentially saying the same thing. This reinforces this. Jeremiah 11:16 reinforces 11:16. It gives it context and understanding to find out exactly who those branches that were broken off are. This is Jeremiah chapter 11, verse 16. The Lord called thy name a green olive tree, fair and of goodly fruit. With the noise of a great tumult he hath kindled fire upon it, and the branches of it are broken. So let's identify who those branches that are broken off. For the Lord of hosts that planted thee hath pronounced evil against thee, for the evil of the house of Israel and of the house of Judah, which they have done against themselves, to provoke me to anger, and offering incense unto Baal. Okay, or Baal, right? So that wild olive tree is talking about these Israelites here. Okay, so these Israelites, or these branches, became dead branches, so they had to be cut off, right? That's what you do to dead branches, and they were spiritually dead Israelites that the Heavenly Father had to cut off, right? Let's go back to Romans, and we'll finish it up. All right, I don't mean to belabor a point, but you got to do that with these dumb Christians, because they don't understand anything. They think they know every damn thing, and they don't know anything. All right, so we're going to jump down to 11, verse 26. And so all Israel shall be saved. As it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer. Who's the deliverer? Yahweh Shai. And shall turn away ungodliness from who? The whole world? Jacob. Who's Jacob? The Israelites. Why is it continuously leaving out the heathens? Didn't say anything about the Edomites, the Moabites, the Ishmaelites, the Hamites, right? It excluded all of them, right? For this is my covenant unto them, when I shall take away their sins. And Apostle Paul said that the covenants, all right, are only for the Israelites. The adoption is only for the Israelites. The laws, the giving of the laws, are for the Israelites. The promises are only for the Israelites. Right? So if the covenants are only for the Israelites, how are you damn Christians, you non-Israelites, under the new covenant? You're not, because it doesn't apply to you. Okay? Anyway, I can break out more precepts, but I'm going to leave it at that, because I didn't want to make this too long. All right? So, Christian Dave, please close the Bible, shut your mouth, because you have no idea what the hell you're talking about. All right, you're a proud, arrogant, all right, Edomite, and you know nothing about the Bible. Let the real prophets, the real men of the Lord, teach our Bible to our people, okay? Because you're failing miserably, as with all Christians. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.